Hello and welcome back to the MARKIE channel. Now, I have some explaining to do. Listen, long story short, I didn't upload for 2 days, and that is absolutely appalling, okay? That is disgusting behaviour on my end. So I will have to sit here and apologise. Hopefully you guys can forgive me, and hopefully you can watch this video without being too angry. Which I am, of course, saying, knowing fine well that nobody actually realised that I didn't upload for 2 days, because they don't really care. Hey, Callum? It's not all about you, is it? But yeah, either way, today we're back with a video. It's going to be something a little bit different. I can explain why. And this also ties into why I didn't upload the past couple of days. The only real things that have been happening that might have been worth talking about is the whole, like, Trisha Paytas and Ethan stuff. Now, first of all, have kind of done that a bit too many times recently. But also, the past few days, it's got, like, a lot more serious to the point where it's not, like, some, like, YouTube drama, even though it was kind of already past that point. But especially, like, yesterday, after seeing the stuff that happened on Twitter and that specific video that's been out of Trisha Paytas potentially lying on certain things, yeah, it's a bit too serious, and I don't really want to sit here and talk about stuff that overly serious when it is, at the end of the day, really fucking sad that this family's just being kind of ripped to pieces at the minute. I didn't want to sit and talk about it and potentially even make things worse. So yeah, that's why I'm not talking about that type of stuff today or the past few days. But instead what I thought we could do is actually answer a bunch of your guys' questions, okay? Because about a month ago, I was in a similar predicament where I wanted to record a video, but I didn't know what to record, so I asked you guys to leave some questions for a Q&A. Now, in true MARKIE fashion, I didn't do that Q&A. I made you lot do work for me and didn't even do the video. So yeah, I'm an awful human. But today we changed that, okay? I've got a bunch of questions that you lot have asked on my community tab. If you do want to see this video in the future again, let me know and I'll do a similar thing where I'll post the community tab and you guys can ask questions. And it basically just means that you can get behind the scenes of some of my videos, you know, maybe some beefs that happened off camera, like after I made a video about a specific person or anything like that. But yeah, without further ado, right, let's get into these questions. What problematic / cancelled influencer do you think doesn't deserve the amount of hate / backlash they've gotten? Now see, this one's tricky, okay? Because if we're talking in terms of someone might have been innocent and they got cancelled and was later found innocent, obviously there's a few people we could talk about there. But if we're talking about people who still did something wrong, but maybe the cancellation that they got, if that sounds horrible, right? Basically, there's a few people might have deserved a bit of backlash, but got, like, way more than they really deserved. Maybe we're talking about someone that I've personally made a video on, and I've kind of maybe, like, not regretted making the video, but I've looked back at it and been a bit like, it was a bit harsh there, wasn't I? Is probably actually JMX, who's a YouTuber here in the UK. And the reason that I think that is because I said quite a lot of harsh things in that video, and I've met him a bunch of times now, and he's been nothing but really, really nice to me. So every time I meet him, like, oh, he's clearly a decent guy. I was a bit of a dick, right? So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. I'm very sorry it wasn't like a James Charles or anything like that, because let's be honest, that wouldn't be the answer to that question. What cancelled influencer do you think doesn't deserve their career back because of what they've done? Maybe you have an answer for someone who hasn't returned or someone who has. Now, you know, out of, like, the stereotypical cancel YouTubers, because I do realise that you lot probably want me to talk about, like, that, like, top 10 people who always get into scandals, and also it makes for a really fucking good title, so I'll talk about them people for now. Now, when I hear that question, the first person that does come to mind in the sense of they got their career back very fucking easily when you bear in mind what they actually did is James Charles, funny enough. I mean, the bloke admitting to having sexual conversations with minors twice after he'd all been exposed the first time. So yeah, as you can maybe tell, not exactly the biggest fan, you know? I wouldn't go to Nando's with James Charles and have a chat or anything like that. Whose side are you on? Ethan, Klein, or Trisha Paytas? Now, the funny thing is here, that question's a month old, and it still makes sense. Now, I know I briefly spoke about it, and I don't want to get into specifics, especially, like, the recent stuff, but to be honest, I'm not really on, like, any one side. I think they both handled stuff pretty immaturely at some points, and even bringing family drama to YouTube in the first place just doesn't make any sense to me. So in that case, I don't really say I'm on anyone's side, because I don't think anyone's an angel. But I mean, Trisha Paytas has made it a lot more difficult. I mean, let's be honest, right? So if you were to ask who do I think's most to blame, obviously that's my answer, but yeah, I don't think anyone's an angel in the situation, to be honest. Have you ever met any YouTubers in the real world? Ever been involved in any weird drama on the platform? Now, as for meeting YouTubers, yeah, I've met a bunch of YouTubers. People I've made videos on specifically, I've met, like, JMX, obviously, Lewis Clark, Jordan Houston. Oh, Tana Mongeau, very briefly, at a TikTok party, funny enough. Basically, TikTok were hosting, like, this, like, party, like, drinks event thing, and Tana Mongeau turned up. I've told this story so many times, but I find it so fucking funny, because it was, like, the clearest example I've ever seen in the flesh of, like, how different LA YouTube is and UK YouTube. And notice I say LA YouTube and not US YouTube, because there's so many good American YouTubers, but specifically in LA, it just seems to be so weird. But yeah, if you haven't already heard the story, we went to this event, okay? It was just a very sad event. Everyone just kind of acted like a normal human being, as you should. It was kind of a good night for, like, a bunch bunch of like creators to be together and not really speak about like YouTube or TikTok or anything like that, you know, just have a few drinks, have a chat, have a good time basically. And in walks Tana Mongeau in a fucking full Louis Vuitton dress with 2 massive bodyguards next to her and a bunch of her like LA friends with another girl who looked exactly like her. Like I genuinely thought it was Tana Mongeau before Tana Mongeau walked in behind her. And as everybody's like communicating, you know, like meeting new people, having drinks and stuff, Tana just stood in the corner in the room and just had these 2 bodyguards corner her in so no one could go and speak to her, and she just spoke to her 2 friends she was with the whole night and was like, oh god, these peasants, get them away. But yeah, it was just a funny situation. It was just so weird to even see. But yeah, I guess, does that answer your question? Hopefully. What's a phrase you heard that impacted the way you started looking at things? You know, a big quote that pops in mind straight away, which is a bit emotional, a bit motivational as well, you know, is American CPM is better than UK CPM, so you should probably try and get American audience. I'm joking. Classic Callum, always thinking about the money. I don't know about like a phrase I've heard, but one thing I always tell myself, and this might sound a bit fucking shit, it might be a bit too deep for a little weird video like this, but whenever I'm like having one of them days where like I need to get work done and I'm just complaining, you know, like, you know them lazy days where you just can't be asked to do anything, and I'm like, oh fuck it, I just can't be asked recording a day. One thing I always tell myself is I'm like, yeah, but the alternative is that you do go back like home to Middlesbrough and do like the mechanical engineering job that you were doing before you actually started YouTube, and you hated it and despised your life, and now you're doing your dream job, so what the fuck do you have to complain about, MARKIE? I tell myself that maybe like once a week, honestly. It's just kind of like a good reminder to be like grateful, I guess. That sounds a bit too deep. I don't care anymore, right? Next question. Is there any drama that you wish you never talked about / regret talking about? Obviously, I already mentioned the JMX stuff, so that, I guess, but to give you a bit of a different answer, there's a lot of my, like, old videos that are no longer on the channel where I did similar stuff to what I'm doing now, but I would also talk about really, like, serious situations that I felt like I really shouldn't have been the one who was responsible for talking about that, you know? Like, that's, like, the police's job. It really wasn't my place to say something, so I've deleted, like, them videos, even if, like, the situation I was talking about came out and it was 100% true or whatever, and it just felt a bit weird, you know? It felt a bit weird for me to sit there and have that conversation. So yeah, probably a bunch, to be honest. Is there someone or something, aka a certain topic, you won't cover because of principles? Yes. Evidently, today, the Trisha Paytas stuff that came out recently, the stuff that she's apparently, allegedly lied about. Yeah, I don't even think for a second I would ever sit here and talk about that, just because it's so serious. And you need to be 1,000,000% sure when you're talking about things like that. And obviously, I'm on the other side of the world right now. I don't know Trisha Paytas personally. I've never even met the person. So, yeah, it just feels like if I was to sit here and try and cover something like that, I want to be 1,000,000% sure. And how can you ever be 1,000,000% sure if you don't even know the person? I want to know more about you. How are you doing? Taking care of yourself mentally and physically? That is all. Stay safe. You know what, Tanya? That's a very, very nice comment. Thank you very much. Let me know how you're doing if you watch anymore. I mean, this was a month ago. You could have got sick of me. It's a big possibility. But to answer your question, yes, I'm good. I'm good. To be honest, I was actually thinking this the other day. Oh, God, Callum, can you stop being deep, right? For the past, like, maybe, like, I don't know, like, 4-5 months of my life, like, maybe specifically when I moved into, like, this house as well, I have felt probably the most motivated and happy I've been in, like, a long time. Like, all I think about is YouTube now and what video I can do next and projects I can work on, which, by the way, oh god, should I give a spoiler? There's been a project basically that we've been working on for a long time, basically me and the people I live with. Maybe was like a big reason why we moved into this house. And long story short, that will be made public in maybe like a week or 2. We're already quite far ahead in it. Maybe you can understand what's going on here. But it's very, very different to anything I've ever done on YouTube before. And I'm really, really excited. It's kind of brought this passion back for me. Not that I completely lost my passion for YouTube or anything, but it's just like a new flame, you know? Like, it's something to really be like, take serious and try and work on and just have fun with it, basically. And that's what we've been doing for quite a while now. So yeah, to answer your question, the last like 4 or 5 months, like I said, yes, most motivated, most happy I've been in a bloody long time. And I know I've spoke about it many times in videos in the past where I've went through periods of like not feeling too good. Maybe I'd stop uploading for a long time. I've got no motivation type stuff, and I just don't feel good about life, okay? And I'm sure I'll feel like that again multiple times in the future because everybody does. That's not just me. You probably have who's watching this video right now. Everybody has, right? But yeah, I'd say this is probably like the longest period of time in a really long time where I've been like really happy. Like I said, I was thinking about this the other day because I was just sat here and like I said, was in a good mood, you know, and I was like, fucking hell, you know what? The past, like, few months has been just nothing but, like, laughter and happiness, which is good, which sounds so fucking cringe, doesn't it? The answer's yeah, I'm good. Hopefully that answers the question. And you know what, actually, it's just a little bit of a secret, because there won't be many people who get this far in the video. I'll leave a link in the description to the new project we're starting, and, yeah, if you want to go and subscribe, there'll be a video on there in maybe, like, 2 weeks, and then there'll be 2 videos a week on there. But what type of concept will it be? Who knows? But yeah, it's linked in the description, okay? There's like 5 people who are still watching. But yeah, either way, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please do leave a like down below. Let me know if you want to see this, maybe like once a month, maybe once every 2 weeks or so. I upload every day, so every like 14 videos I feel like might be quite decent. But let me know, maybe you hated this. Yeah, if you do hate it, please don't tell me, actually. That'll make me really sad. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you do enjoy. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, goodbye. I'm a T-star, boy, and that's forever till I die. Up and coming, MC, you will see it in my eyes every time I drop the